Hi guys, how are you? Welcome back to my channel with me, Monique. If you are new to this channel, I upload videos weekly about style, mindful shopping, travel, and everything in between. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I would really appreciate it if you would like to take the time and subscribe. I would love to see you back. So today's topic, we are going to talk about questions I ask myself before I shop for new clothing. Being in Kenya, especially during this whole situation that we've had since 2020, has reduced my shopping to a very minimum. I used to shop a lot because, I had a store. So whenever I see something that I like, I would just grab it, and if it doesn't work out for me, I could always put it in the store. But now that I don't have that option, I've become more careful in terms of shopping, especially because I only really get to shop when I'm traveling. So here are the questions that I ask myself before I purchase a new clothing item. First question, do I need it? It's not only about wants, because if we just follow what we want to buy, we'll just buy everything. So I really have to ask myself, do I really need this new pair of pants? Do I really need this new shirt? I usually would have a list before I go on a shopping trip of things that I need. So those are the things that I would focus more on when I'm on my shopping trip. But of course, there's a caveat to everything. If I happen to fall in love with one particular piece of clothing and I don't really need it, but I'm really in love with it, there are occasions that I might just get the item, because shopping is also about fun. Sometimes you can't really just go by the list that you have. A lot of times you have a few things on your list and then you go on your shopping trip and you can't actually find the things on your list. So those occasions would happen too. But first and foremost, I have to ask, do I need it? Number two, material is very important for me. So the second question is, what is the material? Whenever I shop for clothing, especially when it's not online, I love to touch the fabric. I love to know what the fabric is, and I would still check at the fabric tag just to make sure what is the composition of the material, because nowadays factories have come up with really good faux silk and all of the others. It would feel like silk, but then it's actually polyester. So for me, it's really important to actually check the tag just to be sure what the material is. Number three, before I purchase something new, I would ask the question, will it work with my existing wardrobe? Will I be able to pair it with many things in my closet? A good sign to this for me is that when I see something that I love and I immediately have in my mind a few outfit ideas with this particular item of clothing. So that for me is always a good sign. If I'm having difficulty trying to pair this item in my head with my closet, then most probably I will pass, because I find that if it's too much work, you'll just end up not wearing it. Question number four that I ask myself is, does it fit me? I have passed the phase of buying things that are too small for me, thinking that, oh, one day I will fit into this, but that never happens. Also, I try not to buy things that would need major alteration, because I will never get around to do it. Especially if you are in countries like the United States or in Europe, alterations can be very expensive. So buying something and then having to do a major alteration on it, it's not really worth it. Plus, you will never get around to it. Trust me, I have experienced this a lot in the past. If it's something minor, like maybe hemming it a little bit because it's too long, or changing up a button a little bit, then maybe it's okay. But if you have to restructure the item, then no, it's a no for me. It's too much work. I will never get around to it. Number five, do I really like it, or do I like it because it's on sale? Am I buying it because it's a good deal? Again, this is mistakes that I have done in the past, of buying things randomly just because it's on sale and thinking that, oh, I'll find a way to work it out somehow, which usually in a lot of cases it never really happened, and the item just ended up being in the closet and not being worn. So I try to avoid buying things just because it is on sale. Of course, I always try to shop sale, but I will not buy something just because it is a bargain. if it doesn't fit me, if it doesn't look good on me, if it's not the color that would work for my skin tone, I would skip it. There are so many other items that are on sale that you can buy, and you don't have to be stuck with something that you don't like. If I'm buying something that is a bit more expensive, I always ask myself the question, is it worth it? Is it worth the investment that you're going to spend? Are you going to wear it a lot? Is it going to last a long time? So basically, is it worth the money that you are spending? One tip from me, when you are about to buy something that you think it's a bit expensive, you could possibly ask the store to maybe hold it for you for either a few hours or a few days, depending on the store policy. I find it helpful for me to maybe step outside a little bit, take a little bit of a pause, a breather, because a shopping trip sometimes can be overwhelming, and you have all these essays that might tell you that everything looks good on you, but you're not sure, and you feel pressure to buy something that is expensive. So take a pause, put the item on hold, step outside, take a breather, and just think about it. You could think clearly when you are not distracted, and after taking a pause and you still think about this particular item and you're still in love with it, you can always go back and purchase the item. One example that I have is when I purchased this Celine pants. I purchased it at the Celine outlet store at Woodbury Common, so it was already really highly discounted, but being that it was Celine, it was still very expensive. I really love it because it was one of the last collections of Phoebe Philo, and it fits really well, and also the way the pants made me feel really good. Some clothes just do that to you. It just makes you more confident somehow. So what I did was I put it on hold, I stepped outside, I went around, I looked at other stores, and then when I couldn't stop thinking about it at the end of the day, I came back and purchased the pants, and I still love it to this day. It was a good purchase. Question number 7 that I asked myself before purchasing a new clothing item: is it just a trend? Am I buying something that is just a trend that will only last one season? Granted, of course, some trends do last a few seasons, and it is okay for you to buy trendy pieces if you think it's going to last longer than a season. And fashion do come in cycles, so whatever it is that is trendy now might come back in a few years and be trendy again. So it is okay for you to enjoy one particular item this season and then put it to rest, put it in your wardrobe, and have it make a comeback a few years after. I tend to avoid trends that are a little bit too obvious, something that just won't last long, because I tend to be very classic and timeless in the way I dress. I want something that lasts forever. So if it's something that is way too trendy, I try to avoid buying. Number 8, similar to the material, I also always check the tag and ask, where does this item come from? I try to support local as much as possible whenever I can, or I try to buy things that are produced in countries that hopefully pay their workers a better or a fair wage. So those are the 8 questions that I asked myself before I purchase a new clothing item. I plan to do a similar video regarding luxury bags. Let me know in the comment section down below if you'll be interested in that. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!